Yo, welcome back to a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an ASTA type of week, and before the spoilers drop, before we move away from ASTA, it's gonna be another ASTA type of video. But I mean, who doesn't love our lovable idiot? But guys, before we jump into the video and the few things we actually do need to discuss and some pretty epic theories on what the orbs around ASTA are, there is a few things we need to discuss. First of all, I woke up yesterday and Black Clover was trending #1 worldwide with over 170,000 tweets. That is literally insane. I've never seen Black Clover trend so high, and I've never seen it trend at #1 other than when episode 158 came out. I think it reached like the #2 spot, and it was really huge. But over 170,000 tweets. The final episode of the Black Clover anime was absolutely amazing. If you have not been watching the anime, go do yourself a favor and start at episode 1. You do not understand how much I wish I could restart Black Clover and not have all the memories I do now. I wish I could experience it in one go. 170 episodes of absolute fun. But anyway, moving on, the artist for today's video is Dazen Art. If you haven't checked out Dazen, be sure to check out Dazen. Dazen does some really cool edits, and this edit is for this thumbnail as well. So shout out to Dazen for the epic thumbnail for this video. With that also being said, guys, as always, you can vote in the character popularity poll for the next 60 days, which I believe now it's like 57 days. So be sure to be voting in the character popularity poll every single day. I've seen a lot of votes for Moxa from the Korean pop, the K-pop team, so Moxa might even beat Asta if we're not careful. Obviously, I'm gonna tell you, go vote for best girl Sekre, and obviously vote for best vice captain Nacht. I ain't even vote for Asta, fuck that midget. I'm voting for Nacht and Nero, best characters in all of Black Clover. With that being said, let's just jump straight into this video. Alright, jumping straight into it, yo! Okay, so let's start here. In the prediction video for next chapter, for Black Clover chapter 288, I showed you in the chapter that Asta's headband now has cracks that were not there before. Now, a lot of you noticed that in the color page, Asta also has some very similar looking type of cracks. I actually did more research into the chapter, and at the end of the chapter, Asta's headband is completely clear. And then, not only that, new cracks that weren't even there in any of the other versions appear in the cover of the Shonen Jump manga that released this week, drawn by Tabata. So there are currently 4 different versions of Asta with 4 different versions of his headband, and I believe this is the problem. For those of you that don't know how manga works, let's talk about this. Yuki Tabata draws a very rough sketch of what he wants in that week's chapter. He does this every single week. The sketches then go to Yuki Tabata's editor. The editor looks at the sketches, approves some, disapproves some, and tells Tabata to change stuff. Tabata then changes stuff and takes it back to the editor, and the editor checks stuff and approves stuff again, and then it goes into final draft. Once it's in the final draft, Tabata has done the sketches. Tabata then focuses on a few panels, and obviously Tabata is not a one-man army. To draw a weekly manga, it's a lot of work. So Tabata has assistants. Tabata's assistants, working on his rough draft, create the chapter, and I think this is the issue. Obviously, Yuki Tabata did the cover for Weekly Shonen Jump, so that is the official. The one drawn in the chapter with the cracks is most likely done by an assistant. The one drawn at the end of the chapter with no cracks is most likely done with another assistant. And the one in the color page is most likely done by Tabata himself, as he probably did the color page with Asta and himself. So we can't really come to a conclusion other than there are some cracks on his headband. some see it, some don't. Personally, if you watch the prediction video, I predicted that those cracks might be because this is his second time entering Devil Union form, and the first time he entered it, he couldn't even hold it for 5 minutes, which comes to our second point. ASTA and Libe, to create the Union form, had to sync up their feelings. They had to sync up their emotions. They had to be in sync to unionize. Before that chapter, in chapter 272, whatever they did, they could not unionize until Nacht got serious and he was about to kill them. That's why ASTA and Libe synchronized when their thoughts came aligned, and they said, and I quote, "I can't let this guy die either." They both said that at the exact same time, and their thoughts came into one, and they managed to synchronize. Now, at the end of Black Clover chapter 283, I believe, when ASTA sliced that demon in half, oh, what an absolute banger chapter. When ASTA sliced that demon in half, and he thought he had 5 minutes, their Devil Union came undone faster than he figured, and he even says that in the chapter. Now, once again, I want to reference Attack on Titan. Whenever Eren Yeager wants to transform, he has to have a goal in mind. Once he accomplishes that goal, he can't transform anymore. Unless he has a goal in mind, he can't transform. And this is very common in other shonen tropes, when they need to have a goal in mind to, like, unlock new powers. And I believe this is the same thing with Asta's Union mode. Asta's Union mode most likely could have lasted the 5 minutes he predicted, but once the demon was destroyed, Asta's Union form became undone. So once again, their thoughts need to be aligned. Now, Asta and Libe are absolute idiots. Fighting the twin devils at one point, one might have a plan on how to destroy it, while the other's plan might be different, which might cause their Union form to become undone. At the end of the day, this is all because Asta didn't want to have a devil binding ritual. He chose to have Libe as an equal contract. This downplay, this negative drawback isn't a factor with Nacht, who just forces his devils to give him their powers, and they just give him his powers, and the powers go away whenever Nacht wants it to. So this is a really cool drawback that Asta has. Now, the final thing I want to focus on this chapter, which is in the color page for Black Clover chapter 287, and also Yuno's side of the color page, is that now in both their new transformations, both Asta and Yuno have floating spheres around him. Asta, from my count, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Yuno has many of these very small spherical, like COVID-shaped balls around him. Now, Asta's balls and Yuno's balls, that kind of sounded a little wrong than I had anticipated, might just be there for show. Now, in regards to Asta, since this is an Asta video, not a Yuno video, I personally have a headcanon belief to think that each ball might actually represent like maybe 30 seconds or 60 seconds. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 balls, and he can use his powers for 5 minutes. So during Black Clover chapter 288, if by God miracle we actually focus on Asta and not move away, I believe Asta's balls are which again sounds very wrong. Oh my God. Asta's spherical anti-magic balls around him are going to disappear one by one. This is also a common thing I saw in another anime recently, Bleach. I cannot remember the character, but they had these spheres around him, and each minute, one sphere went away when their full power was unleashed. So I think Asta's spheres are going to be an indicator for when his Devil Union is going to be undone. Now, in regards to Yuno, those spheres represent the fact that he is blessed and loved by Mana. I don't exactly know what that even means. God knows, I'm dreading that Yuno video I'm gonna have for you guys in the near future. I also have a Zora and Magna video, but that's just my small headcanon going forward, that Asta's balls represent like a minute for each ball. Now, the final thing I want to draw on, and a theory that actually I came up when we first saw his Devil Union form, that now a lot of people have actually come up with as well, and it's really cool seeing your theories spread around in the community, is that Asta's Devil Union form evolves with the amount with different swords. So his Devil Union form for the Demon Slayer sword is this like tanky looking one. I feel like he's gonna have another one for his Yami's katana. I feel like he's gonna be like a Devil Union form looking like a samurai. Now obviously I don't have any proof towards this, but so far Asta has only used the Demon Slayer sword in his Devil Union form. The other Devil Union form, when he was holding Yami's katana, we never got to see. It's most likely different to this current Devil Union form. At the end of the day, Asta is a shonen main character protagonist, and it wouldn't make sense for a shonen main character protagonist to only have one transformation across the entire series. So two things could happen. Either his Devil Union form upgrades and looks different as he gets stronger, or he's going to have more Devil Union forms based on his different swords. And as you all know, Asta is most likely going to find multiple other swords. Anyway, that is basically a small video on Asta's new powers with the Devil Union mode. I haven't made a Devil Union mode video before, and I'm not entirely too sure why. Sorry for taking too long. Hopefully I will have the Zora and Magna video before they appear, most likely by the end of this chapter. Next chapter we'll talk about Zora and Magna. I promise you guys, and what their new powers could be. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. My name is as always. Peace.